And so just want to recap the conference in a few slides, and then we will have a few awards, which I think is what you guys are waiting for. So the title of the conference was Science for Society Fit for Purpose. And we had 10 sponsors and 8 other supporting UE entities. At one point, we thought we didn't have enough money. And we had to reach out to the departments to chip in. And the departments stepped up and sponsored the conference. For that, we're very grateful. We had 4 keynote speakers. And I think they all did a wonderful job. If you can applaud them for me, please. And we had 42 oral presentations, and we had 58 poster presentations. Talking to some of the keynote speakers throughout the conference, they mentioned they were very impressed by the quality of the talks, and I have to agree. It was an excellent conference. You could tell the students had done very good research and practice, and I'm glad for that. We had over 150 registrants online. That was as of last Friday. But I checked and I logged in just to send out the message a few minutes ago. We were at 193 registrations online. And I know that persons registered at the desks outside during the conference as well. Those won't be included. But it was a big conference, much bigger than we had anticipated. I think Professor Taylor had thought we should plan for 200, and I thought that was way too high given what the registration numbers had been like for the 2 previous conferences, but we ended up coming in close to his numbers. There were 9 oral presentation sessions, the cross-cutting fit on Monday, and the program committee's idea there was to highlight exciting research, and hopefully people enjoyed those. It was multidisciplinary, but we're hoping that get people's attention. And then we had the parallel sessions, ICT and modeling, the energy and materials, and then the undergraduate forum. This was something we tried for the 10th conference, and it worked well, and so we brought it back, and I'm hoping that it will be something that will stay and that we would have more departments represented as well. Then the health and environment and the biodiversity sessions, and then the actionable climate session and information session, information for the Caribbean, and then the public forum last night. And then we had 6 thematic areas for our posters: ICT and modeling, energy and materials, biodiversity, health and environment, education and climate. And there were 7 special sessions: the Discovery Bay Marine Lab 50th anniversary session, the climate change special session, the public forum, and the business leaders forum, and a business leaders luncheon. And we came out of the business leaders luncheon with a few ideas on how we as a faculty, as a university, can engage with corporate Jamaica. The Grand Innovation Challenge this afternoon, we'll hear a little more about that when we get close to announcing the winners. And the alumni reunion and legacy talk, and then the launch of the Caribbean Science Series. So we had departmental presentations as well from 6 departments. You can see them listed there. So as we get close to the end, we had our organizing committee. I have to thank them on behalf of Tanisha and myself. They did a wonderful job. So if this conference looks good, it's their hard work. I'm not recognizing the persons individually. You can see their names on the poster, and 10 members, secretariat from various departments, and we had volunteers. Many of the persons who manned the registration desk this week were not part of the planning committee, but they stepped in and did that, serving lunch, moving various logistical things, and so on. We had over 27 persons volunteering, so we're very grateful for their help. Okay. So, now, to close out the conference, Professor Sim, would you join me here? So we will have the first award was for, or is for the best undergraduate presentation, and that went to Tony Ann Williams. Is she present? From Life Sciences. No? It's the chair of Life Sciences here, the head. I believe he was her supervisor. Okay, well, we'll have to hand that out. And by the way, these are also accompanied by some vouchers for the gift, for the bookstore. And then the best poster presentation went to Anika Myrie. She present? No. Okay. And our best oral presentation went to Zayar Min from chemistry. Congratulations. All right. I think that would be, oh, well, Grand Innovation Challenge, okay, that's going to go. All right. At this point, before we announce the winners of the Grand Innovation Challenge, I'll have Mr. Mooney from the IDB make some brief remarks.
So thanks very much. This is my third time up here. I'm triple lucky today. I would love one. No, thanks very much. I have to say, as we close this event, let me reiterate how happy the IDB is not only to participate in this particular conference, but also to partner with this institution more generally. I think that we see that as a very important part of the work that we do here in our portfolio of assistance to this country. And just to reiterate how important we see now in this sort of post-macro, post-IMF program environment, how important the work you do is and will become. That the private sector partnering with the academic community has to be the driver of growth. And I'll say it again, no country in the world has ever developed without that dynamic. So your work is triply important. The presentations from the students were excellent. I congratulate you all. They were very impressive, well thought through, innovative. So you should congratulate yourselves. And I think really very impressive in terms of a representation of the kinds of things that this institution and the people who are here studying and working and researching can do. It made me think, we had a conversation previously at the lunch with some of the academics that, no school in the world or academic institution can expect to be world class or, cutting edge in every discipline, but those who have succeeded in doing so usually are able to partner with private sector that's active in particular industries that are relevant to that country and particular circumstances, and that's really where you see innovation and where you see sort of technology develop. It was striking to me that all four of the teams were intending to leverage technology, including mobile technology and telecommunications. So that tells me something right there. This is a country that already has a vibrant and developing telecommunications industry. So that's an area where there should be some focus and where you can leverage that. Also security issues. 3 of the 4 teams looked at security issues. So clearly these are areas where Jamaica may have a comparative advantage, a competitive advantage in terms of technology, well, in terms of merging technology, mobile technology, IT technology in consumer products that are very, very, potentially, market altering. So I think those are my general observations. One final thought, we had a discussion as we were grading and marking and talking about the groups, all of which were excellent. It was very difficult to make a decision. The margins were very close. But one thing, a suggestion maybe on my behalf and behalf of the IDB for future exercises would be that you all put a lot of effort into it. You are all very technically savvy and capable, maybe next year around, making sure that each team prepared, for example, a full business plan that was submitted to the judges before the competition, so we would have a chance to vet them, but also encouraging you to partner with the business faculty as part of your development, so part of your learning process, but also to help you with your product. I think that would be a useful innovation in this kind of activity. But I think in general, you should be congratulated. It was very good, and again, we're very happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
All right, once more, thank you to our teams for entering. Yay. Thank you. I know it's Friday and we're tired and we're all waiting to see who won. But before we announce the winners, we're going to do this again, right? We saw lots of tech, we saw a lot of focus on crime. And I know that there are lots of you in the audience, that are graduates and undergrads, who have innovative ideas related to the research that they're doing now. And we would love to see that here on display, right? What's novel chemistry idea, life sciences, right? We know some of them are making new materials. We saw it in our talks. We need to see the full gamut of what we're capable of. All right, with no further ado, we'll start off by announcing our fourth place, and we work our way up to the finalists. All right. So, coming in fourth, climate style. Okay, we'll give the prize out afterwards. All right. Sorry about that. Our third place will be Detour It.
So coming in at second prize. Wait. Second prize. Second prize goes to Rush Alert.
Our first place winners is the lovely Jay and his squaddy. And they will take home $3,000 US, right? And based off his plan, right, that should at least get some server space or something. Yes, all right, cool. And our second prize would go off with $1,000 US, and Troy will take home $500, as will Climate Style. So everyone is a winner. Everyone gets something.
So that's a wrap. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting the Grand Innovation Challenge. Thank you. Thank you.
And yes, that is a wrap. There will be refreshments. There should be refreshments outside. And that is it. Yes. Comments? Okay. Sorry.
No comments. Just one request. Sorry, guys, could you hold on before you disappear? I said at the beginning that if things went wrong, the buck stopped here. And I said that if things went right, then we need to thank the people who did this. This did not happen overnight. A lot of work went into this. Now, there were 56, if you did the math, there were 56 people who were involved. And so some of you are standing are people who are leaving. I would like the people who were members there, the volunteers, the secretariat, and the organizing committee. I would like those people to stand because I want them to be properly recognized. I really appreciate what everybody did. And I better sit because I wasn't involved.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I just ask you to sit 1 second very quickly? So there was one last item, and I'm sorry I'm not the most exciting item. It's the vote of thanks. So good afternoon, Prof. Reese, Dean, Deputy Dean, Professor Taylor, Associate Deans, our keynote presenters, distinguished panelists, lecturers, students, other members of the university community, friends, visitors, all. Good afternoon again. So it's my task to quickly say thank you to all the various persons that have made this conference a success. So firstly, thank you to members of the UE and the faculty leadership who participated in any way. So namely, Professor Coward, our Deputy Principal, Professor Dale Weber, our Pro-Vice Chancellor, Graduate Studies, Professor Reese, our Dean, Professor Taylor, Professor Master Roy, our Associate Dean, who all had various roles to play either as panelists or just bringing greetings. Thank you very much. We'd also like to especially thank the Dean. So he was standing up earlier to say thanks. He has been very supportive, quiet, but supportive in this entire process, signing letters and using his own influence to get big checks. And, you know, just being, oh, I mustn't tell anybody. Oh, I'm sorry, Prof. Don't cut my salary, it's already low. So thank you so much, Prof, for all that you've done. I'd also like to say thank you to our keynote presenters who traveled from far, some of you, to be here with us. Professor Edith Sim and her husband, Robert Sim. Dr. Karl Schlusner, I think, who is left. Professor Henini, you're still here. Some of you traveled from far, as I said, to be here. Dr. Tyrone Grandison, who unfortunately had to leave, and so did Karl. And we are thankful that you're here. We hope that some of you that remain will taste a little bit of our country, Montego Bay perhaps, and go home with some tan lines so that your colleagues can say, we want to come back to Jamaica with you in the next 2 to 3 years when our conference happens again. Thank you for the persons who had a role in bringing some of these keynotes here. It was leveraging some of the relationships you had. Dr. Delgoda, Dr. Ferrat, Dr. Stevenson, Prof. Taylor, who brought Carl here, and Dr. Mansing and the computing team that brought Tyrone. So those relationships are very important, and we thank you for bringing the keynotes that we had of very high standard, very high quality. Wouldn't you say? Good. We cannot forget to thank Professor Lancashire, whose session was very informative on the history, and it was a legacy talk that we thought was appropriate at this time when the university is celebrating 70 years. During my time here, Professor Lancashire was one of those lecturers who kept you engaged, and I think he still has it, don't you? Okay. Thanks to all our other presenters, be it lecturers, graduates, undergraduates, it would not have been possible without you, for your participation, for your signing up, and we were really enthused by your support. Thank you to all the chairs of various sessions. Thank you to you students who participated in the Innovation Challenge. Another round of applause for them. Dr. Picking, Dr. Stevenson for leading the Innovation Challenge process, and your subcommittee. Thank you very much for your hard work. Thanks to our panelists today who are still here with us. Thank you also for our earlier panel. They're not here now. I won't call their names, but we have the program so we can see. So we had that panel, we had the business leaders panel, we had the panel yesterday at the public forum, or panel of judges today. We want to continue the dialogue coming out of the private sector panel discussions, and we thank those panels, and thank you for being here again. The judges of posters and presentations, thank you very much. Wouldn't have had prizes without you. Thank you to you, the audience, some of you just the members of the academic community, lecturers, students. Some persons also visited us from industry and government. So we also want to thank them for having been here. And we can't forget our sponsors. Those of you who still have your programs, just turn to that page so I don't have to name everyone. And it's behind me. Not quite. Well, they're down here, but the first page of our book has them listed for us. So I have to call their names because we're being streamed live and our sponsors may want to know that we have mentioned them. So Caribbean Development Bank, very quickly, our title sponsor. Inter-American Development Bank, our gold sponsor. Silver sponsors, Jamaica National Group, UWI School for Undergraduate Studies. Port Authority of Jamaica, they sponsored our business lunch. Grace Kennedy Foundation, National Bakery, we all benefited from their biscuits. Wisinco for the water. Perishables, we met Mr. Norman Wright on the panel, and they also provided teas, basic commodity biscuits and juice, and these baskets, and support from our Mona entities, Mona School of Engineering, and they're listed there for us. It would not have been possible without all these sponsors. A round of applause, please. And we cannot forget our conference chair. So Dr. Daniel Fokum, Daniel, stand so we can see you. And Dr. Stevenson, Tanisha Stevenson. Not seeing Tanisha. Oh, she's, okay. Thank you. So they worked tirelessly and had a couple sleepless nights in trying to pull this together. And we are truly thankful. And they led a team of persons also on page 2 of your bulletin. So there you will see the names of the organizing committee and the secretariat. We'll not call out all those names, but thank you, all those members of the team. Prof asked you to stand earlier. Many of you are not here, but stand again quickly. Let me see you. Tanisha, David Picking, members of the organizing committee, Matthew Query, our past chairs, that's Rupika and Gunjan and Professor Taylor. Any members of the secretariat? Okay, there's Rosaline at the back and Kashina. So all of us work tirelessly and we're very happy to serve, right? And we're not doing it next year, but anyway, showing. And very quickly, just to mention the past chairs, Rupika and Dr. Mansingh, who were very supportive throughout the entire process and served on the committee. Subcommittees that worked on the alumni event, we're very thankful. And I'm winding down. So there are also persons who are working behind the scenes. Mrs. Lindo, who is our administrator in the office. Stephanie. A lot of us wouldn't have had lunch if Stephanie wasn't coordinating that process very efficiently and effectively. And we're truly thankful for her, for David, and their support teams that came from across all the departments in the faculty. And the ground logistics team. Sherian from engineering also did some work behind the scenes. Team from MITS, thank you very much. Our live streaming support team as well, thank you also. And my last bullet, I'm thanking the Dean again because he said that if anything goes wrong, blame him. So if I've forgotten to thank anybody, you can blame him. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for making a success that I think it was.